Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Myra from Low Carb Love. Now, most of you know I've lost over 100 pounds. So if you're looking for zero carb option foods, I'm actually gonna walk you through the grocery store and show you exactly what to buy. So come on, let's go. All right, so I want to start off here with ground beef. I feel like this is one of those products that you pretty much know doesn't have carbs, but sometimes you don't know how many things you can actually make with it. So the one that I usually grab is this 3-pack here. Unless I'm going to Costco, I'm grabbing this one. It's usually 20 bucks for 3 pounds of it. It's grass-fed, it's organic, but it's not so much the quality I want to talk about. It's more the different options that you can make. Of course, we know we can make burgers, right? We already know you make a lettuce wrap burger, or you just have the ground beef on its own. You can make a ground beef bowl, but you can also go Asian. I've made bulgogi. I've actually made egg roll in a bowl with ground beef. And so that gives you more of like an Asian flair, but then you can also go Mexican, and instead of doing like steak fajitas, you could do like ground beef fajitas. And the thing about ground beef is that it is super nutrient dense, okay? So when I'm having ground beef, I am not hungry for hours and hours and hours, which I think is so super important when you're on a weight loss journey, because the last thing you wanna have is a bunch of food noise, right? Where you're always just kind of like thinking about food. What am I gonna eat next? You wake up, you're thinking about food. When you start nourishing your body and you have the protein and you're actually getting nutrients that you need, you stop having a lot of that food noise. If you've experienced that, comment down below, let other people know, because you don't know how freeing it is to actually not live through life while having all that food noise, okay? So ground beef is definitely one of my #1 most recommended meats when you're looking for zero carb food options, okay? Now, of course, we also know chicken, okay? Chicken you can make. Here, we'll go over here. So with chicken, yes, if shopping organic is within your means, then do it. But if not, even just something like very, like a generic brand is going to work. I think like once you've been doing this for a while and you start looking into like actual quality, that's when you can start getting into organic and pasture raised and all that. But if you are just starting out, just buy whatever you typically already buy. It's more about eliminating the foods that you know are going to derail you versus focusing so much on quality. Now, don't get me wrong, if you can afford organic and you already know this is what I want to go, this is the direction I want to go in, then do it. You can make chicken tenders, you can make popcorn chicken, you can make chicken crust pizza, you can make so many different really delicious foods with chicken. So I just want to show you, I want to show you different things that you can actually buy that are zero carb, that are going to keep you on track, and you're going to get to enjoy a lot of the foods that are your comfort foods that you grew up with. Okay, don't judge me, but I'm carrying my drink with me. This is so convenient now, because when I'm like ready to run out the door, I don't have to make my tumbler. This one is the Element. It's the black cherry lime. So yummy. And it has all the electrolytes that I still need. It has 1,000 milligrams of sodium, 200 milligrams of potassium, and 60 milligrams of magnesium. Obviously, we need it for just regular hydration, especially if you're someone that's super active. But even if we're not, because even me right now, I'm not super active, but we still need to replenish our electrolytes and actually hydrate. But it's also great for hormonal regulation. So if you haven't tried these are delicioso. I love sparkling water. I love soda. I know. I try to stay away from it though. So something like this actually helps. And if not, I do like a sparkling water, but it's just convenient. Run out the door, grab it. So I'll leave it linked in the description below, or you can also type in drinklmnt.com/low carb love, and you can get a free sample pack with any purchase. So you actually get their 4 most popular flavors, and they give you 2 of each flavor. So it's linked in the description below. Okay, and I'm walking through here to go show you another item, and then I bump into these. So I love these. I've used them for salads, for my Asian salads, just in a lot of recipes that you typically do a noodle, even if it's a hot noodle or like a cold noodle, you could definitely use these. These are made out of egg whites. They have 10 grams of protein, and they have less than 1 carb, but they're literally just like egg white noodles. They don't have like a funky flavor. You don't even have to wash them. I really like them. So if you are someone that loves pasta, but you're like, no, Myra, I have to lock in, I have to reach my goals, then this is another zero carb food that you can enjoy some of the foods you actually love. Okay, and we already know bacon. Obviously, bacon is a zero carb food. You have sausage, like a breakfast sausage, turkey sausage, all of those sausages. I would always just make sure you read the labels because sometimes they could have some hidden sugars, but those are for sure zero carb already. I want to go into more of like the deli meats. I'm not gonna lie, I do personally try to stay away from them, but I understand when you're first starting off, you need options, right? So I want to give you the options. I want you to know that there are options. There are, like, let's just say these sausages, right? So you have something like this. This actually does have some carbs and it has 1 gram of sugar. So you see, this is Italian sausage with mozzarella. You would think no carbs, but it actually does have carbs. So we are looking for zero, cero. So let's keep looking. So you already know, like if it's like a pineapple chicken sausage, if you have something like, obviously that Italian sausage has it. So if they have added ingredients, then there's more of a chance that there's gonna have that they are gonna have some carbs. But this one here is the Texas Smokehouse. This is a 7-ingredient smoked sausage, and it has 0 carbs, 0 sugar. So they have, it's basically just pork, water, beef, and then some salt flavoring, and that is it. So sausages are really good. These are great if you want to make like a quick stir fry. If you want to put something like that into the air fryer, you have it as a snack. It could be like a light lunch. So sausages are great. Then you can also do something like this. Like these are great little snacks, like some provolone and some salami. This is something that you can have as a snack, put a little bit of almonds or put some olives, and now you have a high protein, high fat, but healthy fats snack, okay? So something like that. But pepperonis for sure. Pepperonis, those are all, you already know they're gonna be 0 carb. And these could be like if you're having a lunch, like a really light lunch, then this is something that you can kind of make like a little charcuterie board and you will have a 0 carb. These are all 0 carb options, okay? Now, let's just say you're someone who loves to make sandwiches. You're like, Myra, I love sandwiches. Please show me a brand, or please show me something that I can have. So you already know, like Oscar Mayer, all of these brands over here. Yes, we all know the brand, but for the most part, they are not organic. So at least this one is just their generic brand here. It is the brand here at Ralph's, and this has 0 carbs. It is at least organic. So I would say with something like a Deli Meat, try, here we go. This is the one I was looking for. So Applegate, oh, but they do have a carb. So look at, see, Applegate that I was originally recommending, I like a lot of their products, but they do have a carb. So this one here that is organic has 0 carbs. So here you go. This one is turkey breast. We have oven roasted and smoked. So both of these have 0 carbs, okay? So if you are someone who loves to eat sandwiches, or you want to have like little roll-ups or something like that, then they do have 0 carb. But as you can tell, just right here while I've been talking to you, I had to go through about 5 different brands just to find one that didn't have carbs. And I know you're thinking like, oh, but it's only 2 carbs, it's only 3 carbs. Well, if you're really trying to stay super low carb or close to 0, then you really want to pay attention to these things because they do add up, okay? So you add 3 here, but are you having 1 serving or are you having 2 or 3? You know what I mean? So those are the things that you have to think about. But anyway, I found some that are 0. Then you have things like this where you have salami. These are all just great if you're trying to make some type of, oh, there you go. It has 1. I wouldn't worry too much about the 1s. I'd worry more about the 2 and 3s, but I want to show you 0 carb foods, okay? So anyway, just know that they do have sausages. They do have deli meats. You just have to look for them. Now, one of the things that I don't know if you've ever noticed this, but 0 carb foods and foods that are super nutrient dense and actually nutritious for you are always going to be in the perimeter of the store. Like all the aisles, when you start going through the aisles, that's where you have your chips, it's where you have your ice cream, you have your breads, you have like a lot of the foods that are a lot more processed. So I will say, if you're just starting off, just stick to the perimeter of the stores, okay? Do not start going through the aisles because all that does is give you more temptation. Okay, so here we are at the eggs. And again, eggs are definitely something that I eat. This is one of the foods that I consume every single day. Usually I try to look for like a pasture-raised egg. If I find one at my local store that is organic, then I try to do that. Now, I didn't always eat organic. I probably started eating organic eggs like maybe less than a couple years ago, and I have been doing like low carb and really just focusing on like ingredients for a few years. So I feel like it's all a transition. Don't feel like you have to be pressured into buying organic eggs. You have to be pressured into buying like organic chicken. If it's within your means and you're already doing it, then yes, do it. But if not, then do not feel pressured about that. So for me, I never get tired of eating eggs because I love doing omelets. So for omelets, I like doing anything from like adding a bunch of veggies and onion and tomato, and then I top it with salsa and I top it with avocado. And then guys, I'm telling you, it is just something, for me personally, it's just so delicious. It's so filling. You can also make shakshuka. You can also eat them scrambled and you can do, what is it, scrambled over easy. You can do them poached. There are so many different ways to eat eggs. But on top of that, you can also make dishes. Like you can make egg salad. Egg salad is super filling. You add your healthy fats with some avocado mayo, and then you can add all the other seasonings that you want. But there are so many different things to make with eggs on top of just eating it with ground beef, eating it with some salmon, eating it with steak. So this is something that's going to keep you full for hours. I don't just have one egg, not even two. I have 3 or 4 eggs. It just depends on what I'm going to eat for lunch or for dinner. So just FYI. Okay, and I might as well show you this because this is one of my favorite cheeses. So queso fresco. I love to have this like kind of crumbled over a lot of my Mexican dishes. I also like to cut it in like little slices and then kind of grill it. Oh, it is so good. But this one is 0 carbs. Okay, this one here is more of a soft cheese. But if you want to be sure that you're not going to have a lot of carbs in your cheese, and most cheeses are fairly low carb, you'll want to go for a more like a hard cheese. So think of a Parmesan, think of like an aged cheddar, think of things like that, because those are usually, oh, look at, speaking of parm, I usually like more of like the actual block that I shred myself. But this one here is a parm and it is 0 carbs. So you just want to look for, sometimes there are added starches. Sometimes they have like these weird added ingredients. Why? I have no idea. Probably so that they don't stick. They're kind of like an anti-sticking agent. But overall, I would say cheese is pretty safe. I would say just to be more on the safe side, if you're really trying to stay low carb and you're going to have a little bit more than just like 1 serving size, I would go more for a hard cheese. But cheese is definitely a go, especially if you're cooking like ground beef or something. I will definitely be adding some Gouda. I love Swiss cheese. I love a Parm. I love a sharp cheddar. Like I want cheese that I could actually taste. So that's usually what I sprinkle over my ground beef and then top it with a crispy egg. Okay, so if you're doing 0 carb, right, you are trying to just really stick to it, then you're going to want to do high fat, okay? Because that's what's gonna, like, 0 carb with high fat goes hand in hand. That's what's gonna actually keep you full for hours on end. And if you haven't tried it, do it just for a day or two. You'll see the difference and you'll feel how you don't have a lot of food noise and you don't have a lot of cravings. So butter is really important. We all know, right? Kerrygold. I feel like everyone kind of knows Kerrygold. I think it's a great grass-fed butter. We also have Vital Protein that says 90% grass-fed. I personally, if I'm not buying this from Costco, because at Costco you obviously get a better deal, I usually go for like an organic butter. But as long as you're not having margarine, you don't want to do that anymore. Like that is from back in the day. I used to, trust me, I did it right here. This guy right here, about 15 years ago, that's what I used to spray on my chicken. I used to spray that on my stuff. Absolutely not. That is so processed. That has so many ingredients that you just do not want to be consuming. So just stick to a regular butter. Even if you do generic, even down here, look at just something like this. Just real butter. Again, it's just going to keep you feeling full and satiated. If you don't want to do butter, but you still want that flavor, you can do ghee. Ghee is just clarified butter. It's just cooked down. They remove the milk solids and then you just end up with like the butter without the lactose and without the milk, okay? So that is a great option for cooking. On top of that, if you don't want to use butter at all, then you already know you could do avocado oil, you can do olive oil, even coconut oil. Those are the oils that I have at home, and then along with some grass-fed butter. Okay, so now we're in the canned aisle. Now I love tuna salad, I love chicken salad, I love salmon, I love all of that. And yes, of course, we love like fresh, fresh salmon, fresh tuna, all of that good stuff. But sometimes we are in a hurry. Sometimes we don't have a lot of time. This is another great 0 carb section in the grocery store. So they have all of these flavors, right? They have a bunch of different flavors. They have wild caught Alaskan pink salmon. So like think about making, like if you do the salmon, you can do some mayo, you can do sriracha, add a little bit of sesame seeds or some furikake, and then you eat it with seaweed. salad, you have an almost zero carb lunch or dinner, or even just a snack. You know, I just want you to think like of the ideas that are out there because there are so many options. So we have the salmon, and then let's just say you're like, you know what? I just love regular tuna salad. You don't have to get anything fancy. Chicken of the sea. This is wild caught, okay? Wild caught tuna, get it in water, you add your healthy fat to it, and now you have a great lunch, you have a great snack, you have a great dinner. Let me show you this real quick. It has 16 grams of protein, okay? 16 grams of protein per serving. So this little 9-ounce can of tuna has 48 grams of protein. Okay, isn't that crazy? 48 grams of protein and only 210 calories. So this is what I'm talking about. Like sometimes I feel like we forget that there are these options that are still super delicious, that are super convenient, and that will help us stay on track. Okay, so if you don't like tuna, you're like, Myra, no, please, 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 I don't want any tuna. Okay, so then you can find something like this, where we have some chicken breasts, and then you can make like a chicken salad, you can make chicken boats, you can make so many different meals. But I just want to remind you that there are options out there that are still zero carb, that you don't have to be cooking, you don't have to, you know what I mean? Because hey, we all love ground beef, we all love salmon, we all love, you know, making like a really delicious chicken, but it's going to take about 15-20 minutes before you have food in front of you. This is a great option because it will be in front of you. You're ready to eat within 5 minutes. So it's just an easy option, but still zero carb. All right, guys, so those are the zero carb foods that just popped out at me as I was walking around the perimeter of the store. Now, if you like videos like this, let me know because I'm more than happy to walk around and find more zero carb options, or even just like ultra low carb options that are clean, that are good for you, and still super nutritious. So if you like this video, make sure you show me some love. Go hit that like button. And don't forget to share with friends and family, whether they're on a weight loss journey or maybe they're just trying to make healthier choices in their life. But thank you so much for being here. I love you, and I'll see you on my next video. Mwah.